Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Civil Learning Online. Here, today in this video, I will be discussing about truss. Firstly, I will discuss about the introduction of truss, its type, and then the method of analysis of truss. So, do watch the video till end and learn each and every concept of truss. And without wasting time, let's begin the video. Here, the first point is about the definition of truss. What is truss? A truss is a structure that consists of members organized into connected triangles so that overall assembly behave as a single object. See, here, as the definition specifies that the structure of truss consists of the triangles and members each members behave as a single unit. Here, the given truss is also shown, which is consisting of the two triangle part, and these two parts are connected at joints. These are our joints A, B, C, D, and this whole structure having the member acts as a single unit, which is called as truss. This was our first point. Now let's move toward the second point. Now the second point says that it helps in even distribution of weight and handling of changing tension and compression without bending or shearing. Suppose our joint is applied with load 10 kilonewton. Then it's the property of truss that loading is uniformly distributed towards the joint, and that is our second point says, because if the loading is uniformly distributed, then due to that reason truss is used, which helps us in minimizing the bending and shearing of the compression or tension member. So let's move to the third point now. Here the third point says load is bared or applied at joints only. It means in truss load are applied at joints only. Here the joints are A, B, C, D, so load can be applied and are at points A, B, C and D only. And the third point is, if loading is done on the member, then it's called frame. See here, members are A, B, C, D, A, B, B, C, C, D, B, D and A, D are the member. If loading is done here, then it will not be truss, it will become a frame, because when loading is done on the member, then the loading will create bending. Suppose if loading is applied here as 50 kilonewton, then there will be some bendings which will turn the member BC into curved portion. Similarly, if we apply loading here, then it will get turned like this. That's why then in such case the given diagram or the given object will not be called as truss, it will become a frame. Now let's move to the third point or last point, which is, in truss axial load is only carried and the shear force and bending moment is equal to 0. As I already told you, this point specifies the previous point, which says that loading in trusses, loading can only be done as the joints only, and loading will be axial. Axial load means the load which are acting in along x and y direction. These are our axial load. This is x axis and this is y-axis. This load when applied in such case, then it is called axial load. And here the last point says that loading can only be truss can carry only axial load and bending moment and shear force is 0, which is clear from this figure. Now let's move toward the different types of truss. From there we will be able to classify the truss on the basis of the stability, which we will find by using the formula n is equal to 2j minus r. So here the first type of truss is the perfect truss, and the definition of perfect truss is a truss which does not collapse under loading is called perfect truss. Why the perfect truss do not collapse under loading? It is because here, suppose I have selected a truss which is a triangular truss, and here the number of joint is 3, joint A, B, C 3, and number of member n is equal to 3. Members means A, B, B, C and AC are the members, and number of reaction component we already know. There are three reaction components, that are summation H is equal to 0, summation V is equal to 0, and summation M is equal to 0. Here summation H is the sum of loads in horizontal direction, summation V is sum of load in vertical direction, and summation M is the sum of moments. Okay, now on solving this, applying the formula for the checking the stability, we have 2j minus r is n is equal to 2j minus r, means if we find 2j minus r, it must be equal to our n, and here 2j, j means number of joint, and joint is 3, so 2 3 just 2 times 3 is equal to 6, minus 3 is equal to 3, and which is equal to n, because the formula is n is equal to 2j minus r, and our for n value from this formula is equal to is same, so our truss is a perfect truss. Now let's move toward the second type of truss, which is imperfect truss. A truss which collapse when loaded are called unstable truss, means the imperfect truss to collapse under loading. In unstable truss, the condition n is equal to 2j minus r is not satisfied, means n is not equal to 2j minus r, means the diagram, when we find the value of n of such truss, then it is either less or more than the actual value of n. Now let's move to the third type of truss, which is redundant truss, and here is the diagram of the redundant truss. Here the truss in which n is greater than 2j minus r, then such type of truss is called redundant truss. As you can see here in this diagram, number of member is 6. Here AB is one member, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, so here is 6 member. Here if here it were joint, then the number of member would have been increased to 8. These two were also counted, but here joint is not applied, so here are only 6 member. And if I find its value 2j minus r, then it will be 2 into 4 minus 3, 8 minus 3 is equal to 5, means our here the value of n comes 5, which is not equal to 6, so our truss is redundant truss. Now let's move toward the fourth type of truss. Here the fourth type of truss is the deficient truss, the truss in which n is less than 2j minus r, the truss is called deficient truss. Here we have n means number of member is 4, and number of joint j is equal to 4, a b c d are joints, which is also equal to 4, and r means number of reaction component. Number of reaction component is always 3, which are summation h is equal to 0, summation v is equal to 0, and summation m is equal to 0. Now apply the formula. We have n is equal to 2j minus r, so 2 into 4 minus 3, which will be equal to 8, minus 3 is equal to 5, and here 5 is greater than 4, means our n is less than 2j minus r, so the such type of truss is called deficient truss. Now let's move toward the fifth type of truss. Here the definition of cantilever truss is a truss in which fixed a truss which is fixed on one side and free on the other side is called cantilever truss. Here it is clear from the diagram. As you can see, our member AB is our end AB is fixed, and our end G is free, so then such type of truss is called cantilever truss. And here in cantilever truss, number of reaction component is taken as 4, and here from the diagram it is clear that the number of joint is 7, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and the number of member here is 10, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Now let's move toward the analysis method of analysis of trusses. These were the types of truss, and here there are three methods of analysis of trusses. First one is the method of joint, and the second one is the method of section, and the third one is the graphical method. In method of joint, we usually consider the axial load which is applied at a joint, and then we find the forces carried by each members um, by using the method of joint. And here I will be adding more videos related to the method of joint. And then in method of section, which is also known as the method of moment, we find the forces in each and every member, taking the moment and eliminating some portion of the diagram. And the in graphical method, we discuss about the tension coefficient. Each and every method will be clear from this video, from the video which I will be adding about the each and every topics. And thanks for watching this video. If this video was helpful, then do like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks once again and have a nice day.